What up, homosexual? What's going on? It's Coach Nat with the Queer Gym, and I'm back here today bragging about my clients because they be crushing it, and we got lots to brag about. And I want to take a moment to welcome Mike. I want to hype up Mike because Mike's been with me for over a year, been straight up or gay up crushing it. Mike, welcome. Thanks for being here. Give us a little introduction.
What up? Hey, I'm Mike. I use he, him pronouns. I live in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and I've been a part of the Queer Gym since November of 2024.
That is right. So it's about 15, 16 months or so. That's awesome.
It's, just 100 workouts, a million steps, nothing big, just chilling.
I love that you're coming with receipts. You're like, I know my numbers, I know my stats, I know exactly what the hell I've been doing. And I think that's why you've been crushing it. So it made sense. And math is mathing. So, Mike, before the Queer Gym, what would be a couple words that you would use to describe what your vibe was like?
Flat out, exhausted, ready for something different.
Kind of walk me through what your day to day looked like before.
Until recently, I lived in Boston. I'm an LA kid. When I was 18, I had that kind of goal of like, I can move to Boston. I'd been once and I'd never been through a winter and I had a lot of gall, but I wanted to go to school there and I did. I had some really good mentorship that kind of put me on a great path. And when I joined the gym, I'd been in Boston for about 15 years. I done a lot of work that was really meaningful to me, and I felt a huge amount of purpose. I also felt like I was neglecting really important parts of my life that I didn't want to neglect anymore. I was working a really demanding job. I worked at a nonprofit. I was a director there. At some point, I just kind of realized I needed to start paying attention to my health and my well-being because if I wasn't going to do it, nobody else was going to.
At what moment were you like, all right, enough is enough, something needs to switch up?
I was in my mid 30s. I had a couple of kind of smaller health scares, and I had one that was a little bit too close to home. It caused me to like reflect on how I took care of myself and whether I took care of myself. Where did I want to go on my own personal, like physical wellness journey? And I knew that I was feeling worn out. I knew that something had to give. I knew that it wasn't going to give inevitably. Like nobody was going to make a decision for me to get my shit together, right? Like it's one of those things where I just kind of realized I got to take a leap. I got to do something. It was a small help thing, but if not me, then who? If not now, then.
Ooh, I need a fake mic so I could drop it when y'all be saying some shit. Just that was a mic drop moment right there, Mike. So why the Queer Gym?
Well, low key, I've been Instagram stalking Coach for a minute, but it was literally like a minute. It was like a week or two. And I was just like, you know what? This is somebody who's a homie who will give it to me straight, who's not going to dance around all the BS. I kind of like on an impulse scheduled a meeting with you like for the next day or something. After our conversation, I was like, I know what I need. I don't need a babysitter to stand there while I'm doing reps at the gym. I need somebody who's going to work with me to try to figure out how to integrate all of this stuff into my chaotic life. Like that was the work that needed to be done. And in our conversation, it really was like clear to me, like, actually, this is someone who can help me work the basic stuff into my daily routine, which is what I needed in order to kind of move into that next phase.
Can we talk about that conversation? I remember that conversation very clearly because I was home visiting my parents for the holidays, I think. And my dad had sent me to get him a cappuccino. And I took your call from the parking lot of that coffee shop. And you gave me hell from the beginning. I was like, this motherfucker's coming in spicy. I remember that call because you came in mucho caliente. I gave you hell back because I could feel that you needed that extra little tough love. Do you remember that?
I fully remember it. Yeah. And I had the same impression. I even knew that I was kind of coming in hot, but part of me was also like, this is who I am right now. And this is where I am. If you can't handle me where I am, then it's not going to work. And so I wasn't trying to like be difficult. I can be spicy. I'm a Gemini, so I like to argue. I like to debate for no reason. I remember on that call, we were kind of talking about it and you were mentioning like the gym stuff. And, we do this virtual thing 4 times a week and you can do it from anywhere and you don't need any equipment. It's on Zoom. I was just like, Zoom sounds terrible because I spend most of my day on Zoom. I don't want to add another Zoom thing into my day. I was skeptical. But then you also talked about nutrition and macros and that kind of thing. And I was like, you know what? I've never learned this stuff. This is all new information to me. It sounds like it would be really useful. It sounds like a tool that would be something that would help me in the long run. And then I remember at the very end of the call, you're like, so what do you think? Are you down? And I was like, I don't know. Let me think about it. I remember you said, this sounds like you've already thought about it, Mike. Well, damn, you're right. All right, let's try it. This can't hurt, might help was my kind of mentality at the time. And here we are, 14 months later.
Yeah, 14 months later, 110 workouts, 80 pounds down.
It's been quite a year.
Not too shabby. Not too
Not too shabby.
shabby.
It turns out when you have some support, when you have some good routine, when you have some, hey, what's up with this energy, it turns out you can actually make some big changes, big shifts.
Who would have guessed?
Who would know?
Me.
I had the audacity to believe you, and you were right, man.
I love those words. Coach, you were right. You fucking pay me to be right. What surprised you the most?
The Zoom workouts, actually, I mentioned that those things can be hard, man. It turns out you don't need a lot of shit to just get a good pump in. Your first workout, you're always a little bit like feeling it out and seeing what's the vibe, right? From the jump, I think it was Coach Taylor who was on my first workout, just welcomed me into the fold and kind of like, here's the dynamic, here's the expectations, and let's get started. Just kind of jumped right into it. Still doing the same workouts, trying to do 4 a week on Zoom, even though there's plenty of gyms near me. But doing the Zoom workouts has been kind of a game changer, actually. So came in skeptical. Now I'm leaving a believer.
Yeah, we are a whole ass fucking machine. Fuck the machines at the gym. You are a machine. We just need to utilize it. I like humbling y'all. It's great.
I'll just say my machine was getting a little rusty at that point.
We had to oil you up.
Had to get the sander
Baby
out, had
oil.
the Tin Man.
In regards to the people in the community here at the Queer Gym, how has that played a role in your journey?
The community at the Queer Gym is really amazing. It's been really nice to have kind of a place that is not work, just like a third space. Being able to connect with folks who are all around the country and all kinds of different places and doing different things. I learned so much by like somebody posting in the chat, hey, I tried this today. Here's what I thought. I was like, oh, damn, I would have never thought to try that. But now that you say it, I might want to try that. I tried snowshoeing for the first time this winter because I've just been eyes open on trying to find different new stuff to put in the day and it was awesome. Definitely has opened my eyes to a lot of stuff I would have like seen and been like, that's not for me. I had a lot of transition in the last 15 months. I changed jobs, left my apartment in Boston, bought a car. I decided to move states. I got a new apartment in a new state, a whole new place, whole new life. Actually, the life that I wanted 2 years ago is where I am now. The Queer Gym, because it was virtual, actually, was the one thing that was like a real consistent in my life that I could lean on to give me some structure when I didn't have it because I was in a U-Haul. As soon as I landed in my new spot, I was like, well, I don't need anything. Got myself, I got a floor and I got internet. I'm set. So it played a really big role. It was like my center during a lot of transition.
That's definitely been a perk as a trainer being virtual because when we were in real life, if a client left for vacation, I knew I wasn't going to see them for 2 weeks. I wasn't going to see them while they were on vacation. But because it's virtual, y'all be working out with us when you're on vacation because most places y'all go to, guess what, have Wi-Fi. And you don't skip a beat. So it's not like you go on vacation, I don't see you, and then I don't see you for 2 weeks while you're getting back on routine. We get to go with you too. That's why when people are like, I'm going on vacation, I'm like, cool, where are we going? We're all coming.
I remember telling you about a vacation I was going to do, and you're like, what's the plan for workouts? I don't know. And you're like, what's the plan? I don't know, to turn up. That's the plan, to have fun and hang out. And you were like, all right, let's time out. Let's work through this a little bit. And just on that coaching call, man, we talked about how are you getting your movement in? Are you taking walk? Are you going to be out walking all day? Are you going to be swimming? Are you going to take a fitness class? What's the nutrition going to look like? How are you going to front load your protein? Even on vacation, I'm kind of sticking to the goals. It still feels like a vacation.
Yes. Oh, yes. Because the whole mission here is to be a happy, healthy homo, and happy homos go on vacation. And you could be happy and healthy on vacation.
Working with you, I've gotten a good sense of like, here's how to prepare for traveling for work. Here's how to recover after traveling for work and how to get right back into the grooves. I've always kind of had this struggle of like, I'll start something and I'll go 100 and then I'll stop. And then restarting is always the hard part. And the way that we've kind of been able to work through travel stuff is like, actually, I'm just picking up where I left off or I never even left. You know what I mean?
Oh my God. Yes. This makes me so happy to hear. You've been with the gym for over a year and you've also upgraded into our new secret, low key, no one knows about invite only program, the Happy, Healthy, Wealthy Homos. Actually, for folks that don't know, tell them a little bit about what the secret program is about.
Well, it's super secret. It's, you know, after being in the gym for a year, I felt like I was hitting a lot of the stuff that I was trying to hit in terms of like my own wellness and well being. But we are more than just one part of us. We're all of us. And just because I'm hitting these goals doesn't mean I'm hitting these ones over here. So that kind of smaller group is a space where we kind of come together, share a little bit about what are we working on, what are we trying to accomplish, and how do we support each other, and how do we stay on track and stay on top of it. Honestly, 90% of it is like, how do we make a plan to actually execute the shit that you want to achieve? And I thought I knew how to do that until I did it with y'all and, in this group. I have this big ass goal that's this big, exciting, fairy dream. Now I'm like, all right, in order to get there, here's what this quarter got to be. Here's what this quarter got to be. And those quarters, like, here are the months, and here's how I got to hit all those goals this month. And so it takes like this big audacious thing and helps one step at a time.
I know initially one of the things that caught your attention when you first started was the idea of people don't have a fitness and nutrition problem. What would you speak to that now that you've been in the program, you've gone through a fitness transformation, you've been working on other parts of your life, other big goals? How's that sitting with you now?
Literally the month that I joined the gym, people were starting to see a difference in how I move through the world. I may know what I need to do, but it doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to do it. And if I'm not making time and making space for it and putting my attention on it, it's not going to just inevitably happen. I knew McDonald's bad, right? But I never knew why. It makes you more susceptible to a lot of the bullshit marketing that's out there. Get this super healthy thing. But if you don't know what to look for, you're going to go with it, right? You're going to assume, trust it, and kind of wing it. But when you try that time after time after time, and it doesn't actually end up working out the way you want it to work out, there's something else there. And so I was kind of starting to see like there is stuff here that I just don't know about and I'm learning about. And now that I'm learning about it, I can figure out how to integrate it into my life. And I remember when I first started, the first task was like, eat breakfast. What do you mean? Coffee is breakfast. You're like, no, it's not. And now it's just like I wake up and first thing I do is I eat something and I do my workout, I get my motion in, and I just feel so much better. But it wasn't easy. Now that I have the information, I can just automatically do it. It's like you have to know it, but then you also have to practice it.
Hmm.
I kind of mentioned earlier, like I moved to Boston without having a lot of a support system. I moved into being an adult real quick, but I also kind of was starting to realize, oh, I actually don't know everything. And I have not invested in myself in this way.
Hmm.
That was the investment that keeps paying off.
So I'm curious, what have your results been like? What's been the payoff from this investment?
I feel stronger. I wake up with more energy. I go outside and I touch grass. That's like one of my values. I gotta touch grass. Like I live in this beautiful place. And what's the point of living in a beautiful place if you're not ever able to enjoy it? And so I'm getting my steps in consistently. I'm hitting my nutrition goals. I'm adding or pushing more weight when I can. I'm staying consistent on the workouts. I'm adjusting and adapting and integrating into my life in the chaos that is my life. I'm a totally different person and it's huge. Whole new me. This sounds kind of cliche, but like I actually mean it. I was looking at photos recently. Man, I was grappling with a lot and putting off a lot. And I'm grateful that I don't have to worry about it anymore. Doing a little bit better every day. I'm a different person. Also, I lost 80 pounds. That's kind of a big deal, I guess.
Oh yeah, that part. I can
And
just imagine what that's done for your health. 80 pounds, that's not nothing.
it's not nothing. And I remember we kind of talked about like, what is the big emotional why? I'd kind of heard what my doctor told me the why should be. You need to lose weight. Okay, fine. In your words, that's not going to get your ass off the couch at 6 p.m. when you needed to get your steps in. Sometimes it takes a little bit to set in, and sometimes I just want to argue for no reason, but I'm listening. And every coach gem that I've gotten is like right in my back pocket, and I pull them out. Have you eaten yet? Do you want to go take a walk? Let's do this together. I'm trying to like support people who are around me with some of the lessons that I learned.
Beautiful. So, what's been the hardest part?
Honestly, the first 3 months was the hardest part. There's a lot of internal work that you got to do as part of the process. I remember, like, I started the program in November in Boston, and step one was to eat. Step two was to go outside and take a walk. And November, December, January, February in Boston, not pleasant, not fun to take a walk. Well, I know I need to get my steps in. It's really cold out there, and I'm in here. I don't want to go out there. And so the hardest part was doing the internal work. For me, the breakthrough happened with that internal work where I remember one time I was on this walk. I was feeling kind of bummed because I was trying to hit this step goal 6 days a week. And at this point, I missed a day, and then I missed 2 days, and then I missed 3 days. And I was just like, okay, I need to figure this out. All right, this is going to suck, but I'm going to do it. I went outside and I just put one foot in front of the other and I walked around the block. But when I was on that walk, I was thinking to myself, I'm a person that takes my commitment very seriously. If I'm making a commitment to someone else, I'm going to deliver on that commitment. Or at least I'm going to do my best to try to do it. And I kind of had this realization, this is a commitment that I made to myself, for myself. And just because it's for myself, I couldn't just let myself off the hook for a commitment I made to myself because I'm just as valuable as all those other people that I make commitments to every day. I'm no less worthy of my following through on the commitment. That was like a huge breakthrough. Ever since then, it kind of helps me remember this is for myself. It's not for anybody else. It's not for anything else. It's for me. And I deserve it. That was not a place I was in when you and I talked for the first time.
I remember that moment for you. I think you said like, I'm a person that keeps commitments. Like that was the initial thought. And then you're like, why not to me?
Totally. I was like, if I told someone else I will do this, I'm gonna do it. Thankfully, you held me accountable. That's what I needed. But also the support. It's not just accountability, it's also support. It's fucking cold outside. I know you don't want to go outside. What's your gear like? Do you have the right clothing to be outside where you're not going to be all soggy, not going to be all cold, your feet aren't going to get soaked? Just having someone that's like, this is hard, doesn't have to be as hard as you're making it for yourself. Let's make it a little bit easier step by step.
Put on a coat, Mike.
When I joined, I think the relationship that I had with my own body and self was like, it was the thing that I tuned out. I can tune out a lot. I kind of was just doing this nose to the grindstone, focus on whatever you're focusing on intensely. And I was like saying, what is my body telling me? What are the mental stories I'm telling myself? The only way I can describe it is I felt very disembodied. I felt like a consciousness floating and I'm in this thing that I don't really pay attention to at that time. And now I'm just like, oh yeah, it's not a big deal. Like, if you're cold, put on a coat and get your steps in.
What's your mission statement?
Purpose and presence. Yeah, I was feeling really good about the purpose part of my life back then, and I still do. I was feeling really terrible about the presence part of my life, and because I didn't feel like I was very present with myself or with my body or anything that wasn't work, I was just like kind of checked out. And and my goal and my mission, is to find the balance and to be able to do both. You can be present and be a full ass human, right? And you can also live your life in purpose and do good in the world, which is the thing that motivates me.
Well done, Mike. Well fucking done.
I learned from the best.
Well, Mike, you are definitely a fucking fitness inspo. I appreciate the opportunity to get a chance to guide you through this whole thing and give each other spicy shit here and there. It's kind of fun. I dig it. I'm a SoCal kid too. I get the vibe. I could take it.
I've heard this thing many times, and the proverb is if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go long, go together. I'm just really grateful that I was able to go together with someone and with the community because I've been able to go way farther having that support and having your gems that you drop and your guidance. And also, you're like, hey, go do this now. I couldn't have done it alone, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, I'm glad I got to be a part of the journey and you've done a lot of great work. I'm excited to see the next level because I've seen different levels of you already. It just keeps getting better and better. Thanks again for coming on here. Appreciate the scenery. If you could send a message back to old you, what would that be?
You know what you need, just do it. It's worth it.
Just do the damn thing. All right, y'all. Well, thank you, Mike, again for coming through and sharing your story. Congrats on all the hard work you've done. It's been an honor to be your coach and guide you through and talk a little shit along the way. Homosexuals, if you're trying to get your shit together, you know what to do. Hit us up. All right, y'all. Take care. Peace.
Do it. Hit them up.
Do it. Bye.